Hi everyone, Nigel Saunders here. David recently made me a custom pot for my African style Sarissa bonsai, and it turned out really good. I was really happy with it. He's offered to make me another custom pot, so I'm very excited. I picked out my Birds Nest Spruce to be the tree that will get a new pot. It's in a plastic pot, and it's been in this plastic pot for over 20 years. Today I'll take you through the process of matching the perfect pot for my Birds Nest Spruce. To give me an idea of what size pot I can fit this tree in, I need to go back to the last repotting video and check out the root base on it. That'll give me an idea, you know, are there any long roots in here, thick ones that I need to account for when I size this new pot? So let's do that now. Let's go back in time to the last repotting. You don't want to do everything at once on our root system. Getting rid of some of these roots that are growing up. Let's get some soil in here and we'll start doing the good stuff, positioning the tree. I've built up a little mound of soil here to position the tree on. And again, you're seeing the back of the tree. I'm going to be positioning it lower down a bit. Just needs a bit of soil on this side, which we'll put on. We're back to present day now, and I can't believe that it's been 5 years since I repotted this tree back in June of 2016. I looked at the roots in the video, and they look quite nice and radial. There were some long roots coming out this way, but nothing that can't be pruned, so I think I could fit it in a smaller pot if I wanted to. Izabela emailed me yesterday and said the firing of my bonsai pot that I made at her place went really well. So this morning I'm going to pick it up. So here I go. I've arrived at Izabela's. Let's go have a look at the pot. So this is the kiln here, eh?
Yeah, that's it.
Wow, that's a large one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a big girl.
Wow.
16 cubic feet. So it's much larger than the most potters have. It used to be an industrial kiln. Yeah. It had one more section, and I took a section off because I wouldn't be able to reach.
Holy, that would be... And those are the heating elements around the outside there?
That's right.
There we go.
And your pot is in it.
And there's my pot.
Right where it was during fire.
Oh, wow. Is that ever cool?
Uh-huh.
Looks just like I remember it, except maybe 10% smaller, right?
Yes.
And these are some of the other ones you've made here.
Yeah, this is somebody else's
collection. Wow, look at all
collection.
the little ones.
And here's my collection at the back.
Oh, wow, are they ever cool? Look at these ones. Those are nice.
They're tiny.
Wow. Yeah. Cool colors on them, too. And some round ones, oval ones. That one's a beauty, eh? Wow.
That's for my tuja.
Really?
The black unglazed.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
Tuja.
Very cool. Here's a slant. We were just talking about slanting style pots.
Isn't that cool how it turned out with the glaze?
Yeah,
too?
that is cool.
Yeah. Somebody made it, and they're open to if somebody wants to purchase. So I put it out here.
Wow, that's cool.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, I like that. That is awesome. Look at that kiln.
It's black clay. So Nigel's is gray, which is a mixture of black and I think some white in it. So it's like this is also gray.
That's cool.
So it's just a little bit brighter. But you know, the glazes show differently depending on the clay body. Yeah. And honestly, this is the black clay. I really like it for bonsai.
Well, can I take my pot out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, go for it.
Okay. You got the camera? Okay, here I go. It's not hot or anything, is it?
Oh, no.
Here it comes. Oh, wow.
Oh, that looks sturdy.
Look at the ring.
I love the way they ring. Yeah. It's like music.
Let me talk to you. Well, that's cool, isn't it, Laura?
Yeah.
Some reinforcements on the bottom. Take the weight. Well, I like it. Beautiful. I think it's going to make a fine pot for that ficus. Yeah. I like the color too. It's really nice.
Notice the discoloration on the feet and on the edges when you are really polishing it.
Oh yeah.
You can see how all that care you put into it shows in the pot.
It's quite smooth, isn't it? Mm-hmm. With a bit of oil from my hands, it'll be just perfect.
No, you can oil it up.
Bit of patina.
Let's put it down and see how it looks flat.
Sits nicely.
Wow, yeah. That's amazing.
Wow. Thanks, Izabela.
You're welcome.
So that's it. Look at the color of it. Let's just bring it into the sun here.
Yeah.
I'll put it right on here.
That's a good spot. You can see the discoloration
Yeah.
in certain areas. A
Yeah.
little bit of red.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it definitely has some patina already on it, doesn't it? Bit of texture here and there. Well, that's cool. I like that.
It's so beautiful. Is that for sale?
Well, that was pretty cool seeing my pot out of the kiln. Now we've got to head back home and talk about that pot for my Birds Nest Spruce. My wife and I had a nice visit over at Izabela's, and I'm back now with the pot I made, my second bonsai pot ever. And I'm really happy with it. It turned out really nice. I like the color of it. When I made it, it was kind of a dark gray color, and after firing, it's kind of a grayish tan color. It matches the trunk on my ficus, my Natal ficus, really closely. I'll show you that. Izabela also sent me home with a pot she made from the leftover clay of the pot I made, so it's kind of like the little brother or little sister of my pot here. So I'll get out the Natal ficus and we'll see how the trunk color matches the pot. There's a look at the trunk color of the Natal ficus, so it too is a kind of a grayish tan color. I'll put the two together so you can see it, what it would look like in its new pot. Here's a look at the pot in front of the Natal ficus. So you can see the pot color is very, very similar to the trunk color, and I really like that. The pot the Natal ficus is in now is a really cheap pot that I bought at the CNE many years ago. It's a good size pot, so I use that to base my measurements on. And the sizing of the pot, I figure in 5 to 10 years this pot will look perfect for the tree. Maybe not that long, maybe 5 years. It'll start to look in proportion with the tree. Right now the pot's a little big, but the tree has a lot of growing to do, so kind of planning for the future. Here's a look at the pot that Izabela made. It's really cool. Got chamfered bottom, nice feet on it. There's her signature. Really cool glaze. I really like that pot. That's going to be cool to plant something in. You can see from the top view here how the new pot matches the length of the old pot, and it also matches the width at the widest point. The old pot is kind of rounded in the corners, so it doesn't look as large. This one has more square corners than the new one, so it looks a lot bigger than the old one, even though externally they're about the same rectangular dimensions. My goal for the Natal ficus is to grow it into a giant umbrella tree and just a huge canopy on it. And I think the solidness of this pot, because it does look very solid. It has a very thick base to it, a very small upper lip, so it looks kind of like almost bottom heavy, the pot, and I think that's going to add stability to the tree once it gets its giant crown on it. And the giant crown will be quite tall. All these branches here will extend up, quite high. The canopy will be, well, if you follow the normal proportions, that's 1/3 of the height of the tree, and another 1/3, and then another 1/3. So the overall canopy will be way up here. It'll be big. Should look pretty cool in the future. The ducks are back taking a look at the cement work now that I've removed the fence so they can get in here. They're very curious. She just fell in the hole. Here's a look at the bottom of my pot. It's signed NRS 2021. So it's outside for the very first time in the sunshine, gathering natural patina. Here's a look at the pot in the sunlight. And if you come down to the corner here, you can see the natural variation in color of the clay. Really cool, I like that. And I think that'll increase over time. It'll get probably a little darker and a little more variation in the color. I'm back looking at my Birds Nest Spruce, and the first step of designing or picking out a pot for this tree is to take a nice photograph of it, so then I can bring it into a photo editing software, and I use GIMP, G-I-M-P, because it's free, and then I can start trying out different pots under the tree and see what I like. The best lighting to take a picture of your tree is either on a cloudy day or when the tree's in the shade like this. You don't want any fancy lighting on it, you just want to see the tree for what it is. And right now I have the sun shining right in the lens of the camera. So I'm going to wait a little while till the sun gets lower in the horizon, and then I can get a good shot of the tree to bring into GIMP. The sun has gone behind a big cloud, so that's perfect. I'm ready to photograph the tree. The lighting's good, plain background that I can easily kind of Photoshop out. I guess I could put the tree up on the stand to lift it a little higher. I'll do that. Okay, that makes it even easier to kind of Photoshop out the pot and add new pots in. So I'll take the shot, I'll use a high f-stop so I get the whole tree in focus. I took a series of photographs, some in manual mode, some in automatic, just so I can get a variation in exposure. So now I can take those images into Photoshop and start playing around with pots. Before I go inside, I'm just taking a look at the overall styling of this tree. So it's very, heavily slanted to the right-hand side. And then there's kind of almost a vertical section here. It has a bit of a slant towards the left, but not a whole lot. And then the apex kind of goes back to the right here. So it's very, I'd say, angular in design. The one branch over to this side, you can see I'll need to prune off this top, so it's kind of, the branch is more horizontal or cascading a bit. So there'll be some refinement in the design of the tree coming in the future. So the pot, I need a pot because it's such an angle. I can't have too small a pot under it here, or it'd look like it would tip over. So you can see this pot, it's very wide and it's fairly thick, or like high, and it looks very stable. It doesn't look like the pot's ever going to tip over. It's very strong looking under the tree. So I've got to be careful that I don't go too light under the tree, or it'll look very unstable, that a slight wind would blow the whole tree and pot over. So I need a fairly solid looking base on it. So I'll keep that in mind when I'm trying out pots. Someone in the comments mentioned they really love drum pots. A drum pot could look quite nice under the tree. We'll try that out. I don't think, you can get some pots that are kind of dish. They're flat across the top, round pots, and they kind of have a dish on the bottom, so it looks more like a dinner bowl or something. And I don't think that would be suitable because it would look like too tippy. It would look like it would blow over in the wind. So I think I need something fairly solid under the base of this tree. Yeah. It'll be interesting. I'll play around with it. A lot of possibilities. Color-wise, so I've got the dark trunk. It's a very kind of dark brownish trunk, and then I have the dead wood as contrast. So I think, in order to show the tree off, I do want, I think, a fairly dark pot. If it was a light pot, your eye wouldn't notice the trunk, it would just notice the pot. So I think I need a pot that's quite dark, at least kind of the bark color, maybe a step even darker than that, so almost like a black. You can see at the base of the tree here, it's almost kind of a blackish color. And I don't think you want any green color, like the canopy's green and the moss is green, so you don't want more green in the composition. So I think a dark kind of earth color would look best. Almost like a chocolate brown or something, like a dark chocolate brown. Izabela had a really nice kind of black clay she uses, and when it's fired, it turns that nice chocolate brown. And then she paints on iron oxide, and when you fire it, it gives these beautiful kind of shading and colors. So I think that's probably what I'll go for in color, and I think that'll look really good, that iron oxide on the very dark or the reddish clay. It's getting late in the day now, and I think the photo manipulation to pick out a pot will take quite some time, so I think I'll separate the video into two parts. So part 2 will be the indoor part where I'm working in GIMP, trying to find a nice pot that looks good underneath the tree. So that's all for part 1 of this series. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the Bonsai Zone.